Hello students, this video is going to be on growing and developing. Specifically, I'm going to talk about different theories of human development. Erikson maintained that children develop in a predetermined order. He developed a theory of development known as the stages of psychosocial development. Instead of focusing on cognitive development like Piaget, he was interested in how children socialize and how this affects their sense of self. Erikson's theory of psychosocial development has 8 distinct stages, each with 2 possible outcomes. According to the theory, successful completion of each stage results in a healthy personality and successful interactions with others. Failure to successfully complete a stage can result in a reduced ability to complete further stages, and therefore a more unhealthy personality and sense of self. These stages, however, can be resolved successfully at a later time. The first stage is known as trust versus mistrust. From ages birth to 1 year, children begin to learn the ability to trust others based on the consistency of their caregivers. If trust develops successfully, the child gains confidence and security in the world around him and is able to feel secure even when threatened. Unsuccessful completion of this stage can result in an inability to trust and therefore a sense of fear about the inconsistent world. It may result in anxiety, heightened insecurities, or an over-feeling of mistrust in the world around them. The next stage is known as autonomy versus shame and doubt. Between the ages of 1 and 3, children begin to assert their independence by walking away from their mother, picking up which toy they want to play with, and making choices about what they would like to wear. If children in this stage are encouraged and supported in their increased independence, they become more confident and secure in their own ability to survive in the world. If children are criticized, overly controlled, or not given the opportunity to assert themselves, they begin to feel inadequate in their ability to survive, and may even become overly dependent upon others. They lack self-esteem and feel a sense of shame or doubt in their abilities. The next stage is known as initiative versus guilt. Around age 3 and continuing to age 6, children assert themselves more frequently. They begin to plan activities, make up games, and initiate activities with others. If given this opportunity, children develop a sense of initiative and feel secure in their ability to lead others and make decisions. Conversely, if this tendency is squelched, either through criticism or control, children develop a sense of guilt. They may even feel like a nuisance to others and will therefore remain followers, lacking their own ability to initiate. The next stage is known as industry versus inferiority. From age 6 to puberty, children begin to develop a sense of pride in their achievements. They initiate projects, see them through to completion, and feel good about what they have achieved. During this time, teachers play an increased role in the child's development. If children are encouraged and reinforced in their initiative, they begin to feel industrious and confident in their ability to achieve goals. If this initiative is not encouraged and restricted by parents or teachers, then the child begins to feel inferior, doubting his own abilities, and therefore may not reach his potential. The next stage is known as identity versus role confusion. During adolescence, the transition from childhood to adulthood is most important. Children are becoming more independent and begin to look at the future in terms of career, relationships, families, housing. And during this period, they explore possibilities and begin to form their own identity based upon the outcome of their explorations. This sense of who they are can be hindered, which results in a sense of confusion, i.e., I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. And this confusion will be about themselves as well as their role in the world. The next stage in Erikson's psychosocial theory of human development is intimacy versus isolation. During young adulthood, we begin to share ourselves more intimately with others. We explore relationships leading toward longer-term relationships with someone other than a family member. Successful completion can lead to comfortable relationships and a sense of commitment, safety, and care within a relationship. Avoiding intimacy, fearing commitment, and relationships can lead to isolation, loneliness, and sometimes depression. The next stage is known as generativity versus stagnation. During middle adulthood, we establish our careers, settle down within a relationship, begin our own families, and develop a sense of being a part of a bigger picture. We give back to society through raising our children, being productive at work, and becoming involved in community activities and organizations. By failing to achieve these objectives, we become stagnant and feel unproductive. The last stage in Erikson's psychosocial theory of human development is ego integrity versus despair. As we grow older and become senior citizens, we tend to slow down our productivity and explore life as a retired person. It is during this time that we contemplate our accomplishments and are able to develop integrity as we see ourselves as leading a successful life. If we see ourselves as unproductive, feel guilt about our past, or feel that we did not accomplish our life goals, we become dissatisfied with life and develop despair, often leading to depression and hopelessness. Probably the most famous person who studied the formation of identity is a man named James Marcia. Marcia decided to interview lots of different people to ask how they developed their beliefs, preferences, and so on. He believed that identity is based mostly on two things. The first is what he called occupation, which refers to the main role one has in society. Occupation might refer to a job, like a doctor or a bus driver, but it could also apply to roles such as father, student, or celebrity. The second base for identity, according to Marcia, is ideology, which refers to a person's fundamental beliefs, like topics regarding religion or politics. Based on his interviews, Marcia proposed that there are four major identity statuses, or degrees to which a person has achieved a set identity. As we go through them, think about your own identity. Do you feel like you really know who you are and what you want out of life? What about your friends and family members? James Marcia identified four identity statuses: identity diffusion, identity foreclosure, identity moratorium, and identity achievement. These identity statuses are ways to resolve the identity crisis and then establish a commitment to this identity. In this context, the term crisis is a period of development where the adolescent experiences alternative identities and then chooses. The term commitment is the decision that the adolescent makes on what he or she is going to do. Commitments include occupation, religion, philosophy, sex roles, or a personal standard of sexual behavior. Identity diffusion is the status where adolescents have not experienced any identity crisis yet. They have yet to explore meaningful alternatives and they have yet to make any commitments. During this status, adolescents do not show interest in occupational or ideological choices. Identity foreclosure is a status where adolescents have decided on a commitment, however, they have not had any identity crisis. That is, the adolescent has not had any opportunity to experience alternatives. The adolescent accepts what others have chosen for him or her. Usually this occurs when an authoritative parent passes on their commitment to the adolescent. These same adolescents will identify more closely to the same-sex parent. For example, if a father is a mechanic and owns his own business, then his son will become a mechanic and take over the business. Identity moratorium is a marginal period where the adolescent is on the verge of an identity crisis. However, the adolescent has not made any commitments yet. The term moratorium refers to a period of delay where someone has not yet made a decision. It is during this time that they experience different roles. During this period, adolescents and young adults will court one another, look at different career opportunities, and explore a variety of philosophies. Identity achievement is the final status where the individual has gone through a psychological moratorium and have made their decisions for life. These individuals have explored different roles and opportunities and have come to conclusions and made decisions on their own. In short, James Marcia found that a person's identity is not set and is quite fluid. Before a person's identity is chosen, individuals go through a process, whether it is forced upon them or not, to determine their identity. A person's identity is made up of commitments made by the individual. These commitments are decisions made throughout one's life that determines who that person will be. All right, students, I'm going to end the video here. You have a quiz tomorrow on growing and developing, and that will include questions about Erikson's theory as well as James Marcia's theory. So study hard and good luck.